Hey guys, Pokemon Nuzlocke here with a solo Pokemon challenge where I see if I can beat Pokemon Red using only a Tentacool. As you can see, Tentacool doesn't have the greatest base stats. However, it does have good special defense. As far as move pool is concerned, it does learn Rap at level 13, which in Generation 1 is very overpowered and is based mostly on speed. So once I'm able to outspeed opponents, I can essentially spam Rap and really take most people out. And of course, combined with the TM Toxic, it just becomes pretty dangerous. He also learned Barrier level 33, which will enable me to apply the Badge Boost exploit, giving me a 12.5% boost to all my stats once I've acquired all the badges with every time I apply it, which is really awesome, and it's going to be useful for this run. For the first battle on the rival, he doesn't have any super effective moves, so I'm able to use Acid, and even though it doesn't do a ton of damage, it does more than tackle, so I make it through without any problem. This takes me to the rival battle at Viridian City, and I lose my initial battle, so I go to the grasslands and I level up, come back at level 9, and manage to make it past the Pidgey, getting me to the Bulbasaur where I do lose unfortunately. But on 4th attempt, I make it past the Pidgey with pretty good health, getting me to the Bulbasaur where I get some critical hits on Acid, and I take out the rival. So I enjoy the pleasant stroll through the Viridian Forest, getting me to Pewter City, where I get to the gym and I fight the trainer, losing multiple times. However, I do level up to level 13. At this point, Tentacool acquires Rap, and this is an awesome move, as I described before. So I'm able to take him out finally level 13, getting me to Brock, where despite Rap being a normal type move, because I'm able to outspeed the Geodude, I can successfully take him out with almost 0 damage. And the same thing happens to Onix, and I make it through Brock really without any trouble at all my first attempt, and things are looking pretty good at this point. So I jump right into the Cerulean City gym, take out the trainer, and fight Misty. I do successfully outspeed the Staryu with Rap. However, Starmie gets a critical hit on Bubblebee, so I head up to Nugget Bridge to fight the rival for some extra experience points. I make it through most of his Pokemon, but then I get a missed hit on Acid, and I lose ultimately to Leech Seed. So I fight him again, and get some more experience points along the way, and on 2nd attempt, I beat the rival. So I head back over to Misty, where I lose, and then I lose again, and again, and again, and again, until finally I hit with Supersonic. Starmie hurts himself, then Misty goes with the next defend, and I finally take out the Starmie, earning the Cascade Badge. So I head up to Bill's, grab the SS and ticket, and make my way over to Vermilion City, where once again it is time to fight the rival. So I make it past the Pidgeotto with a couple acids, taking some damage along the way, ultimately get taken out by a quick attack on the Raticate, and I have to try again. On 2nd attempt, I make it past the Raticate. Kadabra goes for teleport, and I take him out with 2 Bubble Beams, getting me to Ivysaur, where Rap comes in clutch, and the rival is defeated. So I bid my farewells to the SS and head on over to fight Lieutenant Surge. He leads off here with a Voltorb and a Pikachu, go down without any trouble. Then the Raichu comes in with a critical hit on the Thunderbolt. Now obviously Electric versus Water is a pretty bad matchup, but Tentacool has good special defense, so he is actually able to survive at least one electric attack. So, it's possible, right? So at level 30, I hit the Raichu with Confusion from the Supersonic. Lieutenant Surge then goes for the X-Speed, and Raichu takes himself out with Confusion, and I make it past him. I mean, that's just incredible. So I head on over to the Celadon City area, and it's time to fight Giovanni. Now, Water versus Rock, you can determine the winner there. That's not too hard, right? So I head on over to fight Erika, where unfortunately in my first attempt, I get put to sleep, and I lose. But on 2nd attempt, Rap comes in clutch, and Victory Bell goes down without any problem. Tangela gets an acid to the face, and Vileplume gets taken out by Rap, and Erika is done. So I head back over to Lavender Town, where I'm a little over-leveled here, to be honest, and the rival doesn't really pose much of a threat. So I head up and grab the Poke Flute, hop on my bicycle, and head on down to Fuchsia City, where it's time to take on Koga. The first coughing goes down without any trouble. Muck disables my Surf, so I have to whittle him away with some acids, getting me to the Wheezing, who ultimately blows himself up. So I gotta fight them again, obviously. This time, I go for the barrier against Wheezing, and I survive the self-destruct, and Koga is defeated. So I head on over to Saffron City and fight the rival in Silph Co. So yeah, I lose on first attempt here, not a big issue, but I'm trying to set up some badge boost exploits with some barriers, boost my stats up a little bit, and definitely is needed for the Gyarados because Gyarados is very, very fast. But, you got to do what you got to do. I do eventually make it past the Gyarados, right? Get myself to Growlithe, who's, goes down with a single Surf, no problem. Alakazam does get the better of me. However, on second attempt, I get a critical hit on Surf. Now, this gets me to Venusaur, okay, right? Where, once again, Wrap. I mean, just a wonderful, wonderful move in Generation 1. I mean, wow, the rival goes for a potion, which is a great choice here. But, he does. He does what he wants to do, right? And no problem. He goes for Leech Seed at the end. And there he goes. Rival is done. And it's time to fight Giovanni once more, where I have the difficult task of pressing the A button to defeat Giovanni. This, of course, takes me to Sabrina, which obviously the Psychic versus Poison matchup is pretty bad, right? So you would think. But once again, Wrap, I mean, what a crazy, crazy move here, right? I mean, it just works perfectly. The Kadabra goes down, no problem. Mr. Mime, as predicted, goes for Barrier, right? Boosting his physical defense. So I hit him with some specials on Surf. I match his Barrier, boosting up with Badge Boost X-Point. Venomoth goes down with a couple Surfs, no problem. Getting me to Alakazam, where I go for the Wrap. And there is not much he can do here, folks. I mean, yeah, Alakazam's fast, but I boosted up with my Speed Boost. So, yes, he does get in a Psybeam, right? But because of the high special defense of Tentacool, he survives. He makes it through, and Wrap comes in clutch. And Sabrina goes down on my second attempt. I mean, that is just, wow, I'm shocked. I mean, I really thought it would take a lot longer than that, right? So I get down to fight Blaine here, and, pretty much I just press A. Yeah, this battle's not hard at all. So go back to Giovanni again for the 8th gym badge. Once again, pressing the A button. So easy, right? So easy. So easy, in fact, that I don't pay attention, and my Tentacool evolves, and Tentacool, and I gotta go back. But fortunately, I saved right before Blaine, so I'm able to catch up pretty quickly. And now it's time to fight the rival. At this point, the Pidgeot knows Agility, which is a Psychic-type move. Because Tentacool is Poison-type, the AI thinks it's a good idea to spam Agility, so he doesn't actually attack me here, which is perfect, because I'm able to set up some Badge Boost glitch with the Barrier, and power up all my moves, pretty much. And I take out most of his Pokemon here, no problem. Get to the Alakazam, poison him with a little bit of Toxic. He does hit me with the Psychic here, but that's okay because Wrap comes in clutch, and I get to Venusaur. Now, I make a big-time error here, and I go for Surf. Why? I don't know, but I did, and then I go for Wrap, and yeah. Then I run out of PP here, and that just sucks. So yeah, I get taken out by a Razor Leaf eventually and make it back to Venusaur again. And Wrap comes in clutch once again. I mean, just a great move. And Venusaur goes down and the battle is over. However, I make a critical error and I hit the load button instead of hitting the save button. And I go back to before the rival battle, which you would think wouldn't be an issue, but then I get some really bad RNG. I mean, like terrible RNG. I mean, like, the Gyarados outspeeds me. It's just a mess. It's a total mess. I had a lot of trouble getting past Gyarados here. And then I finally get to Alakazam, and same problem happens again. I mean, it's just, Alakazam's a beast of Pokemon. What can I say? But eventually I make it past at level 56. Good old Wrap comes in clutch, and I make it all the way. Victory Road. It's time to take on the Elite Four. So for the Elite Four, once again, I cannot use any items at all. During the battles, obviously, and also in between. So I can't heal, can't use PP, nothing, right? So that's going to make this hard. But the Dugong, fortunately, has one thing that it does, and it's rests. It always rests, and it always will rest, because rest is Psychic, and Tentacool is Poison, so that's all it does. So I have to use Toxic to poison it, and then use Wrap to take it out, which is fine. But, it does cost me some PP on Wrap, but that's the only way that I can take out the Dugong. And so I managed to make it through some of her Pokemon here. Slowbro again, same thing, right? It's going to spam Amnesia because it's a Psychic type move. And, that's okay because I can use Barrier, boost up my stats. Ultimately, I'm able to kind of use Wrap again once more, get past the Jinx. I get to Lapras. I hit him with the Toxic, but then he hits me with the Body Slam. And this does Paralysis, which is going to play a big role here in actually getting through the Elite Four. Because Paralysis is going to lower my speed. So I get to Bruno. And even though I have Paralysis, I do outspeed the Onix. And the Hitmonchan, he goes for the X speed, which is fine. All right, Hitmonlee then takes me out with a Mega Kick. On second attempt, again, I'm paralyzed because of body slams from the Lapras. But I do manage to outspeed the Hitmonlee this time, and I take him out, but the Machamp takes me out with submission. So I have to go in and fight again, and eventually I'm able to make it past Lorelei without getting paralysis, and this time I finally outspeed all of Bruno's Pokemon. This takes me to Agatha, right? So being poison type, I can't be poisoned, which is awesome, but I can be confused and I can be put to sleep. And this is what ultimately happens, and I take myself out with a little confusion, so gotta go back to the drawing board here once again, make it back to Agatha again at level 66. I'm able to get some badge boosts in here with the Haunter and the Golbat, hoping that I can do some significant damage against the Gengar, which I do, but it does take 2 hits to take him out, and I get hit with Glare along the way from the Arbok, so I do once again get paralyzed. So now it's time to fight Lance. Obviously, I'm paralyzed, I have low health, yeah, the chances of winning are pretty low, but you gotta try, right? Gotta give your best shot, right? So I give Put Poison, and I'm doing the Toxic Wrap setup, and of course Gyarados wins, right? So I make it back finally at level 73 with 4 health, which is insane. And somehow I make it past the Gyarados. I don't even know how, but he goes for a Leer and he misses, and then the Dragonair has agility, so it's gonna do the same thing as some of the other Pokemon because he's poison typing. And I'm able to make it past Dragonair using just Toxic, using Barrier. I get to Aerodactyl, I have a single Surf left, and then I set up the Toxic Wrap combo on the Dragonite, but then he goes for Agility, so I'm like, oh, well then I guess I can just use Barrier again and save my PP. So I finally make it to the rival. I mean, finally getting to the rival. And I'm hoping that he'll go for Sky Attack here. So I go for Barrier, but he goes for Wing Attack instead, and I lose. So it's back to the drawing board again, and I adopt a new strategy, which is that if I get paralyzed by the Lapras from the Body Slam, then I just don't even bother trying to fight the rest of the Pokemon because I know I'm not going to be able to outspeed any of Lance's Pokemon. So, I have to get lucky here, get some good RNG. I finally make it through. I mean, I make it through Lorelei with no damage. I make it through Bruno, obviously, no problem. I make it through Agatha with 0 damage. I get to Lance with 0 damage. I mean, this is crazy. I go for Toxic, set up the Toxic Wrap combo. He goes for Leer, and then he hits me with a critical hit Hyper Beam, and I die. Yeah, that happens. So, yeah, it's back to the drawing board once more, where finally at level 78, managed to make it through again with no paralysis. Make it through Bruno, no problem. Make it through Agatha. I do take some damage along the way, unfortunately, getting me back to Lance, where I take another Hyper Beam, but this time it's not critical, which is awesome, so I'm left with some health. I managed to set up Toxic Wrap, get to the Dragonair, where they spam Agility. I set up the Toxic Barrier combo, make it through both of the Dragonairs, getting to the Aerodactyl, who goes down with a single Surf. Dragonite goes down with 2 Surfs and is back to the rival. So I got to go for Barrier here once again because I need to set up the badge boost. And I'm able to take out the Pidgeot. The Alakazam, unfortunately, doesn't go down in one hit, and I lose to Psychic. So I got to go back to the drawing board and make my way all the way back to Lance and try to fight him again. This time, I'm able to get past Gyarados once more, setting up the combos for the Dragonairs who spam Agility and make the Dragonite. This time I go for Toxic Wrap, and I'm back to the rival again. Finally, and 3rd time's a charm. I'm really hoping this time that I can win. Really hoping here. Once again, got to go with the Barrier here because I need to set up the badge boost, hoping to outspeed the Pokemon that the rival has. So I use that, set up Surf, take out the Pidgeot, get me to Alakazam. Fortunately, with the boost, with level 81, I'm able to outspeed the Alakazam. I set up for Wrap. There's nothing he can do, and I get past him. Right on. Single Surf to the face. I mean, he just goes down, no problems. And get to Gyarados. Really, things got to roll here well. Got to get some good RNG. I hit him with Toxic. He hits me with Dragon Rage, which is fine because it only does 40 damage. I survive that. This lets me set up the Toxic Wrap combo. And this is great because I finally get past Gyarados, which is awesome. At level 82, I get to Arcanine. Surf, no problem. Easy, right? Now it's time for Venusaur. But I've got Wrap. And there is not much that he can do about it. And here we go, wrapping my way to victory. He does hit me with a Solar Beam, but I survive thanks to the high special defense. And finally, at level 82, the game is over. So all in all, I got to say, I really enjoyed this run. I mean, Tentacool is a great Pokemon. I got to say, it was a lot of fun playing this game. I mean, he's got really good special defense. And even though, certain matchups are less than ideal, obviously Lieutenant Surge has an advantage and Sabrina has an advantage. I was surprised because I was able to get some of these gym leaders. I mean, it only took me a few attempts to get past some of these battles. And actually, the most difficult battles ended up being the rival. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you liked the video. And also check out the link below to my Twitch channel. Hit the follow button there and get notified when I go live for more Pokemon Nuzlocke content.